Yo, what's good, Bucket? We're seeing Jackson. I've been good, man. How have you been? Thank you, Tyrone, for the follow. Thank you, Jerome, for the follow. Thank you, Jones. Thank you, Abdullah, for the follow. Thank you, Strenny, for the follow. Thank you, Bilal, for the follow. Thank you, Mahmood, for the follow. Thank you, Ahmed, for the follow. Thank you, Danny King, 0 for the follow. Thank you, BYD, for the follow. Thank you, Dr. Strange, for the follow. Stefan, if you want to 1v1 me, bro, my name's pinned in the comments. What's good, Abchia? How are ya? Thank you, Rix, for the follow. Thank you, Trey, for the follow. Thank you, Oman, for the follow. Thank you, Big Green Giant, for the follow. Thank you, Strange, for the follow. Thank you, Dr. Ribard, for the follow. Thank you, Chai Hu, for the follow. Hi, I'm a new sub. Thank you, Derek Rivera, for the sub. If you're new to YT, hit subscribe. Thank you, Alarm, for the follow. Thank you, BY, for the follow. Thank you, Waxy, for the follow. Thank you, Strange Rantang, for the follow. Thank you, Builder Bob, for the follow. Stefan, my name is pinned in the comments, bro. You need to add me if you want to play. Please stop spamming. Stefan, stop spamming or I'm going to mute you. Yo, what's poppin', Charlie? Thank you, Safe, for the follow. Dasher and Nico, I accepted you both. Thank you, Blue Alf, for the follow. Thank you, BE, for the follow. Thank you, MK. Thank you, Riki E. Thank you, BFF, for the follow. Thank you, MED, for the follow. Thank you, Swagwell Jace, for the follow. Thank you, Shadow Vortex, for the follow. Thank you, Frostbite, for the follow. Thank you, Nova Striker, for the follow. Thank you, Phantom Rush, for the follow. Thank you, Silent Venom, for the follow. Thank you, Toxic Reaper, for the follow. Thank you, Emilio Lauter, for the follow. Thank you, Z Dits, for the follow. My name is pinned in the comments if you want to play with me. Appreciate you, Jackson. Thank you, Bacon, for the follow. Thank you, Apex Hunter, for the follow. Thank you, Rogue Titan, for the follow. If you're new to YT, hit the sub button. Everybody double tap the screen. Thank you Crimson Pulse for the follow. Thank you Apex Hunter for the follow. Thank you Rogue Titan for the follow. Thank you Blitz Fairy for the follow. Thank you Chaos Knight for the follow. Thank you Venom Strike for the follow. Thank you Dark Echo for the follow. Thank you Lunar Rogue for the follow. Thank you Stormbreaker for the follow. You still stream on purple? Yeah, I'm on purple right now. Thank you Lunar Rogue for the follow. Thank you Arctic Wolf for the follow. Thank you Utah for the follow. Thank you John Mark Piamonte for the follow. Thank you Pixel for the follow. Thank you Viper Clutch for the follow. Thank you Ghost Rampage for the follow. Thank you Savage Drift for the follow. Thank you Zero Mercy for the follow. Thank you Shadow Fang for the follow. But I'm in your server round 1v1 after 1v1s are random. I don't pick and choose, 1v1s are random. What's popping, you boy Breeze? Hit follow if you're new here. You are so good with movement. Thank you, Luke. Hit a sub. You're good. Thank you, Lorena Lorenzo. Hit a sub. W's Tony. Hit a sub if you're new here, man. What's popping, Erica Rivallo? I appreciate you all, chat. Hit a follow if you're new on the stream. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Rivals Battleground for the follow. Thank you, Fool for the follow. Thank you, Silent Crusher for the follow. Thank you, Rapid Nemesis for the follow. Thank you, Savage Spectre for the follow. Thank you, Toxic Legend for the follow. By the way, no news yet on a PC, damn. Hopefully before you leave the country, bro. Ah, that was on me. Cara bit it tough. W Streamer, hit a follow if you're new here. Thank you, Infernal Rush for the follow. Thank you, Shadow Titan for the follow. You can later be a nemesis. I don't really play ranked, bro. Of course I remember you, Jeremiah. Where have you been, bro? Thank you, BT, for the follow. That's correct, that is correct. Thank you, Nova Predator, for the follow. Thank you, Silent Road, for the follow. Thank you, Crimson Viper, for the follow. Thank you, Venom Nova, for the follow. GGA Mod. Thank you, Arctic Wraith, for the follow. Thank you, Rogue Bullet, for the follow. I appreciate you, Luke. Hit us up if you're new here, man. What's poppin' Editor? Hit a follow if you're not already. Thank you, S, for the follow. Thank you, A Mod, for the follow. Appreciate you both. Oh my god. Always me, bro. This like always happens to me, bro. There's gonna be a 2-pack game coming out. That's crazy. Thank you, Jury Matt, for the follow. Thank you Ghost Titan for the follow. Thank you Chaos Premium for the follow. Thank you Turbo Fang for the follow. Thank you Eclipse Hunter for the follow. Thank you Apex Venom for the follow. Thank you Still Phantom for the follow. I can't lie, mute anyone that's asking for a gift. Mute everyone that's asking for a gift. Thank you VJ Max for the follow. Thank you Aero for the follow. I'm not from America, I'm from England. Thank you Arctic Nova for the follow. Thank you Dark Clutch for the follow. Thank you Luna Bites for the follow. Thank you Storm Drainer for the follow. Thank you PE Engineer for the follow. Thank you Santiago's brother for the follow. Thank you Emax for the follow. Thank you 3K Axon for the follow. Thank you Tina. Hit a follow if you're new here. Thank you A Nice Kai for the follow. Thank you Rapid Shows for the follow. I do not gift. Thank you Rogue Furry for the follow. Thank you Shadow Mercy for the follow. Thank you Inferno Clutch for the follow. Thank you Cyber Titan for the follow. What's good, Chizzy man? Thank you Frost Rampage for the follow. How long have you been playing Rivals? A few months. I've been playing for long and I can't get level. Oh no. You should join the private service sometimes, bro. If you want to play with me, chat, my name's pinned in the comments. Yo, what's poppin', Chizzy, man? Thank you, Carlos, for the follow. Thank you, Quantum Viper, for the follow. Thank you, Lisa, for the follow. Thank you, Jason Diablo Benjamin, for the follow. Thank you, Turbo, for the follow. Thank you, Ghost Nemesis. Thank you, Crimson, for the follow. Thank you, Ayubin, for the follow. Thank you, Kason Cater, for the follow. Thank you, Jade Mudez, for the follow. Bruh. Thank you, Dead Rails Guy, for the follow. Thank you, Jade Mudez, for the follow. Thank you, Ghost Nemesis, for the follow. Thank you, Inferno Vortex, for the follow. Thank you, Arctic Fury, for the follow. Thank you, BM, for the follow. Thank you, Strange E, for the follow. Thank you, Stefan BK, for the follow. Thank you, Toxic Spectre, for the follow. Thank you, FF, for the follow. Thank you, BEK, for the follow. Thank you, Lil PP, for the follow. Thank you, King NY, for the follow. Thank you, MA, for the follow. Thank you, Strange, for the follow. Thank you, BE, for the follow. Thank you, Prinzy, for the follow. Thank you, Quantum Reaper, for the follow. Hello, Heather. My username is pinned in the comments if you want to play with me. I do not gift. Thank you, Killer24, for the follow. Thank you, Nova Rampage, for the follow. Thank you, Arctic Fury, for the follow. Thank you, Toxic Spectre, for the follow. Thank you, Shadow Velocity, for the follow. Thank you, Venom Warden, for the follow. Thank you, Strange E-Ways, for the follow. Thank you, BE, for the follow. Thank you, Roguecraft, for the follow. Thank you, Phantom Titan, for the follow. Thank you, Rampage Arctic, for the follow. Thank you, Spectre, for the follow. Thank you, Demon, for the follow. What's poppin', Michael? Thank you, Strange, for the follow. Yo, what's poppin', Derpy? Thank you, Venom Warden, for the follow. Thank you, Quantum Reaper, for the follow. Thank you, One Piece, for the follow. What's poppin', user? Hello, Eldeni. Thank you, user 454428369581, for the follow. Thank you, Supremo GMT, for the follow. What's poppin' notification? Chat, can we get one more follower to hit the following goal? We're so super close. If you're not following already, let's go. I give all followers a shout out. Thank you, Shahazan, for the follow. Can you tell me when you play private server? I'll put it in the Discord. Thank you, Shahazan, for the follow. GG, bro. Ali Rashid, I accepted you. Yo, can I 1v1 you knife? I've only been doing knife for like 3-4 weeks, but I'm beating a lot of good players. Yeah, send me a friend request to Redz Gamer. Drop me a follow on Twitch and drop me a friend request. I put my name in the chat, and if you add me, we can play. Thank you for the follow, bro. Thank you, Quantum Rampage, for the follow. Thank you, Arctic Viper, for the follow. Thank you, Jahan, for the follow. Thank you, Crimson Nemesis, for the follow. Thank you, Ghost Rush, for the follow. Thank you, BKE, for the follow. Nice. Thank you, Z, for the follow. Appreciate you. Thank you, Crimson, for the follow. Thank you, Steel, for the follow. Thank you, Inferno, for the follow. Thank you, Chaos, for the follow. Thank you, Toxic Spectre, for the follow. Thank you, Abamwang, for the follow. Thank you, BEK, for the follow. Thank you, Strangers, for the follow. Can you 1v1 me with Knife? I subscribed. Artistic, my name's pinned in the comments, so drop me a friend request and we can play. I added you and already followed. My name is Cool Ricks. Alright, cool. Tourette's Gamer, bro. 1v1s are random, so if you stay in the lobby, I will get around to you. Thank you, J Hun, for the follow. I'm Supreme Flash. Say less, bro. One v ones are random, chat. Thank you. What's poppin', Prime? What's good, Mountain Dew? Make sure you're putting in zeros and not the letter O, bro. Fair enough. One v ones are random, chat. My name's pinned in the comments if you wanna play. I accepted all my friend requests. You have to be following if you wanna play. If you're on YT, hit a sub. If you're on Twitch, drop a follow. Thank you, Sebastian, for the follow. Thank you, Edit Car, for the follow. Thank you, Silent, for the follow. Thank you, Titan, for the follow. Thank you, KK, for the follow. Thank you, EFM, for the follow. Thank you, Doctor Strange, for the follow. Thank you, EE, for the follow. Thank you, King Boss, for the follow. Thank you, Mitzi Blocks, for the follow. Thank you, Ralph, for the follow. Hello, King. Hello, Dark. Thank you, E4, for the follow. Thank you, eBay1, for the follow. Thank you, Dinosaur Rex, for the follow. Thank you, FY, for the follow. Thank you, Stretch, for the follow. Thank you, MF, for the follow. Thank you, Matthew, for the follow. Thank you, Zane, for the follow. Thank you, Michael, for the follow. Thank you, Dark, for the follow. What's poppin', Catalysm? Hit a follow if you're new here. Thank you, Crimson Rush, for the follow. Thank you, Arctic Furry, for the follow. Thank you, Joey, for the follow. Thank you, Catalysm, for the follow. Thank you, Phantom Ray, for the follow. Thank you, Rogue Drift, for the follow. Thank you, Chaos Hunter, for the follow. Thank you, Toxic Spectre, for the follow. Thank you, MF, for the follow. Thank you, FM, for the follow. Thank you, ADK, for the follow. Thank you, OJ, for the follow. Thank you, G Carter, for the follow. Thank you, King Alamo, for the follow. I appreciate you, Jewel. Thank you, Zane Julian, for the follow. Appreciate you, Goat. Thank you, Rochelle, for the follow. Thank you, Days, for the follow. Thank you, Chaos Drift, for the follow. Thank you, Ezra Bernardo Cabase, for the follow. Thank you, Kervin Hopia, for the follow. Thank you, Luna Fanang, for the follow. Thank you, EFBD, for the follow. Thank you, James, for the follow. Thank you, Scott, for the follow. Thank you, Riverira, for the follow. What's poppin', Dapoon? Thank you, Arctic, for the follow. Thank you, Shadow Velocity, for the follow. Thank you, Lynn Jane, for the follow. Thank you, Beckmus, for the follow. Thank you, Estrange, for the follow. Thank you, Len, for the follow. Thank you, E-Bike, for the follow. Thank you, Gojo, for the follow. Thank you, Venom Warden, for the follow. Thank you, Bexley Leanan, for the follow. Thank you, Adlin Rero, for the follow. Thank you, BDE, for the follow. Thank you, DBE, for the follow. Thank you, BYD, for the follow. Thank you, Dexter Oberos, for the follow. Thank you, FMC, for the follow. Thank you, KCFC, for the follow. Thank you, Strenage, for the follow. Thank you, Padel, for the follow. Thank you, Crimson Rush, for the follow. What's poppin', Zeph Kid? Apple, you need to add me, bro. My name's pinned in the comments. Thank you, Lynn Jane, for the rose. Thank you, Guy RT, for the follow. Thank you, Instant, for the follow. Thank you, Karma Strange, for the follow. Thank you, Bexley, for the follow. Thank you, Quantum Viper, for the follow. Thank you, ETB, for the follow. Thank you, Stretch It, for the follow. Thank you, Jim Woe, for the follow. Thank you, Dennis Basaspus, for the follow. Thank you, Blocks Fruit, for the follow. Hello notification. Thank you, Dennis Basaspus, for the rose. I appreciate you. Thank you, Aki Kadorna, for the follow. Thank you, Yam Yams, for the follow. Yams, for the follow. Thank you, Invincible, for the follow. Thank you, Jack, for the follow. Thank you, Fee Lopez, for the follow. Thank you, Frost Hunter, for the follow. Thank you, Stretchy Eli, for the follow. Thank you, Bellem, for the follow. Thank you, EFK, for the follow. Thank you, Boss G, for the follow. I do not gift chat. Thank you, Strangest Ways, for the follow. Thank you, EFM, for the follow. Thank you, Marcos, for the follow. Thank you, Dominator, for the follow. Thank you, Aquino, for the follow. Thank you, Dashi, for the follow. Thank you, Toxic Spectre, for the follow. Thank you, Arctic Fairy, for the follow. Thank you, Jans T, for the follow. Thank you, Dot for the follow. Thank you, Dark Revenant, for the follow. Thank you, Belucius, for the follow. Thank you, Beasties, for the follow. Thank you, Interstellar Clutch, for the follow. Thank you, F. Josem, for the follow. Thank you, Jake, the Pro Rivals, for the follow. Thank you, Strangeness Buries, for the follow. Thank you, Bestus Nitrate, for the follow. Thank you, Rogue Ratty, for the follow. Thank you, B Straight, for the follow. Thank you, SSS Jav, for the follow. Thank you, Beck Wickers, for the follow. Thank you, Anali Suat, for the follow. Hello, the Knife Man. What's poppin' Filmer, please? Thank you, Nova Rampage, Toxic Spirited, and Shadow Velocity, for the follow. Thank you, Joy Boy, for the follow. Thank you, Notification, for the follow. Thank you, Bex Scooters, for the follow. Thank you, Len and Mike, for the follow. Thank you, Amins JK, for the follow. Thank you, Strange Euclidus, for the follow. Thank you, Bear Leak, for the follow. Thank you, Christian, for the follow. Thank you, Frost Hunter, for the follow. Thank you, Dark Predator, for the follow. Thank you, Apex Ravenger, for the follow. Thank you, Road Fairy, for the follow. Thank you, Shadow Mercy, for the follow. Thank you, Extinguous, for the follow. Thank you, Best Wickers, for the follow. Thank you. Is that ninja for the follow? Do you teach people on knife? Not really, bro. I kind of just play it. Thank you, El Guapo, for the follow. Thank you, Skylar, for the follow. Thank you, I don't know, for the follow. It's popping, Veronica. Thank you, Skylar. Hello. Thank you, Yaber and Nana. It's Nafi for the follow. Thank you, Moonlight, for the follow. Thank you, Armando David, for the follow. What's good, Rod, bro? What's popping, Nissan? Thank you, Sakuna, for the follow. Thank you, Toxic Strikes, for the follow. Thank you, Shadow Blitz, for the follow. Thank you, Be Strange, for the follow. Thank you, Alex, for the follow. Hello, Brooke. Thank you, Fat Man, for the follow. Thank you, Storm Viper, for the follow. Thank you, Silent Nemesis, for the follow. Thank you, Be Strange, for the follow. Thank you, Strange One, for the follow. Oh my god, I walked straight into that. Thank you, Zari Douglas, for the follow. Thank you, Shadow, for the follow. Thank you, Matt, for the follow. Thank you, Yabis Alt, for the follow. Thank you, Fan the Jacket, for the follow. I fell straight into that. I'm so bad. Oh my god, I'm terrible. Thrown. Friend me, John Doe. My name's pinned in the comments. You need to friend me, bro. Everybody join the private server. Thank you, Mon, for the follow. Thank you, Be Strange, for the follow. Thank you, F Diddy, for the follow. Thank you, F Live, for the follow. Thank you, BE, for the follow. Thank you, Strange, for the follow. Thank you, Robots Player, for the follow. Thank you, Biggity Triggity, for the follow. Thank you, Eli Wop, for the follow. Thank you, Bron, for the follow. Thank you, Player, for the follow. Thank you, Min, for the follow. Thank you, Igna Lucia, for the follow. Thank you, BE, for the follow. Thank you, Igna Lucia, for the follow. Thank you, Enderman, for the follow. Appreciate you. Thank you, Timothy, for the follow. Appreciate you. The most lazy man in existence. I don't even know how you still have your moderator role. Thank you, Timothy, for the follow. Thank you, Tantan, for the follow. Thank you, Lou, for the follow. What's poppin', Logan? Hello, T-Sog. Thank you for pinning Brooke. Appreciate you. I don't do duos. Damn, it's because you fell off. You fell off. Thank you, Phantom Crusher, for the follow. Thank you, Venom Knight, for the follow. Thank you, Knights Templar, for the follow. Thank you, Strangers and Fool, for the follow. Thank you, Gangster, for the follow. Thank you, Geraldine, for the follow. Thank you, Grafton, for the follow. You should see my aim now. Why has it somehow gotten worse? How does it get worse? Thank you, Yeehaw, for the follow. Thank you, Nicole, for the follow. Ah, what now? Derpy makes himself useful. Thank you, Dre Abey, for the follow. Thank you, Diego, for the follow. Thank you, Moskov, for the follow. Thank you, VIP Blocks Fruit, for the follow. I gotta do something. I thought you were gonna play. Thank you, Stranger Sarah, for the follow. Oh, bro, I thought you weren't playing Derpy because you said I gotta do something. Oops. Right, bro, you know when you said I have to do something, I started the game because I thought that meant you were leaving the stream. Thank you, Shangula, for the roses. Yeah, you can play T-Sog. Nice to see you back, Justin guy. You can join the private server T-Sog, but I'm not running duos, unfortunately. She's cheating. She's cheating. Thank you, Ginny A, for the follow. Terrible aim. Terrible, terrible aim. Set my friend request after this match, say less. Tap got one tapped, bro. What a sweat. Get life, weirdo. Thank you, the Emperor, for the follow. Frigidj. Just ignore him, guys. Thank you, Yang, for the follow. It's X Yang. Yang. Follow. My name's pinned in the comments if you want to join. Hello, Dark. What's poppin', little bro? Poppin', William. You can all join as long as you're following. If you're on YT, hit sub. Thank you, Ezra, for the follow. Thank you, Zip, for the follow. Putting me on any team is probably overpowered, to be honest, because I'm just like that. Thank you, Joe Campbell, for the follow. T-Sog Edits, you need to add me, bro. My name's pinned in the comments. I don't know how much simpler to make it for you. Thank you, Zion Jr., for the follow. Hello, Majeda. Thank you, Profarius Extreme, for the follow. What's popping, Yusuf Ahmed? Appreciate you, Brooke. Thank you, Shadow Step, for the follow. I appreciate you. Thank you, James Draws, for the follow. Thank you, Fayyad, for the follow. What's popping, Capybara? Appreciate you, man. Hit the follow if you're new here. Thank you, Notification, for the follow. See you later, bro. Thank you, Apple, for the follow, bro. Yo, Redz, are you Muslim? Yeah, I am. I don't gift. Yeah, Muslim over here, bro. Thank you, Roseanne Lantique, for the follow. Thank you, Christian KMB, for the follow. Thank you, Oh God, for the follow. Thank you, Nico Leon, for the follow. Thank you, Mr. Unknown, for the follow. Thank you, Not So, for the follow. Thank you, Oh God, for the follow. Thank you, Arjun, for Mentra, for the follow. How are you not lagging? There's so many people on the server. I don't know, bro. PC, I guess. Appreciate you, Brooke. Thank you, Yatsuba, for the follow. Whoever picked this map, I hope you're happy with how long the rounds are taking to end, bro. Flipping hell. I'm gonna go to bed, bro. Buzzer beater. Yo! What's popping the bath, bro? I don't gift cases. I don't gift anything. Damn, sorry, tough tongue pong. Yeah, it's because I'm from the UK. Thank you, Kenji, for the follow. Oh, how is this game still going on? This game's been happening for 4 hours. We've been playing this map for 4 hours. Whoever made this map as well needs to retire. Oh my god. Thank you, Ren, for the follow. Thank you, user, for the follow. Thank you, Slam, for the follow. Thank you, Video Edit, for the follow. Appreciate you both. Bro, I'm gonna end it after this game. There's no way I'm playing another one. This is horrific. Thank you, Zoid, for the follow. Thank you, Odrans, for the follow. Oh my god. I'm good on Instagram Reels.
He's been robbed a few times. Yeah. It's no chocolate, I'm afraid. Yeah, don't worry, Ross. I've seen a big guy robbed a few times. Don't worry. I ain't one to stress, rap bro, send the text, flash straight, no need to stretch, hustlers from all the rest, opposition see me as a pest, wanna see my death, but they don't want smoke, I'll go to a different depth, and over there, it's the place.
See you later, Video. That was the longest game of my life. I'll play one more, then go to bed. Nice skin. Thank you, Bath Bro.
Just showered already.
I'm not 1v1 at the moment. Thank you, Arsenal, for the follow. Anything but shooting range was horrific. That has to be the worst thing I've ever played. But yeah, I'm going to end it after this. Thank you, Life of Leah, for the follow. Thank you, Marcelo Moro. Hit a follow. This is the last game before I go to bed. Thank you, Xavier, for the follow. Thank you, Camry, for the follow.
Never seen a grocery store with a bouncer up front. Apparently, this is the healthiest grocery store in America. You need a little grocery cart, so let's start with that. This little juice right here, $14. Gonna cure cancer, cure diabetes. $17 for chips, nothing pasta. I'm gonna pretend like I'm doing a regular grocery haul and see how much it costs. Let's get some brownie. $14 for marinara. I'm a little scared that this one doesn't have a price tag, but we're gonna get it. We're gonna get some raw cheddar cheese for $20. Try some of their coconut water, $5, not bad. Ooh, they're doing smoothies. Yeah, you know. They get the sundae and then the froyo. We should not the.
Excuse me, but I got 15 pounds.
These are me. My account's frozen, but I just feel frozen inside. I just got like a nice cold temperature of blood running inside me now.
Thank you, Noah Eldon, for the follow. Thank you, KK Santos, for the follow. There won't be a stream tomorrow because I'm going for a meal. I'm going for a meal tomorrow, and then I'm watching the England match. So I won't be streaming tomorrow, unfortunately.
Inside.
Today we're climbing. You ever seen a 16-year-old flow like
Thank you, Bossing, for the follow.
Look at this. Excavators will not have to sit in a dirty machine.
Good morning, Keep.
On a job site, anyone. Hey, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get started for you? I just need to go spend wine.
Appreciate you, Keep. Link up for 18 minutes ish. Nah, I'm gonna go to bed, bro. I'm knackered. Marina Mush. For real. Thank you, Figuro, for the follow. Thank you for everyone coming through to the stream. I'll see you guys. I won't be live tomorrow, so I'll see you all on Thursday. Peace. See you later, Peace. See you later, bro. Bye.